Hello all, I'm Marin. Welcome to another reading vlog. This is going to be my second 1 week, 1 genre vlog where I use a random spinner wheel to choose a genre, and then my goal is to read only that genre for a week and vlog it. I will link you to the first episode up in the cards. It did not go the way I'd planned. It took much longer to get that vlog done than I intended, but we're gonna try to do a better job this go round. So I am filming in my new house. It is quite empty, so it's kind of echoey. Hopefully that doesn't translate badly on video. I also have my kitty cats here, so we could have a little bit of chaos with them. But I'm gonna go ahead and pull up my random spinner wheel. There are 7 genres left on the spinner wheel, and we're gonna see which one I will be reading in this vlog. All right, you are looking at the spinner. So my choices are classics, romance, historical, sci-fi, fantasy, contemporary, or mystery thriller. So let's go ahead and spin it and see what I'm gonna be reading. Ooh, okay. Romance. That is definitely doable. So let me take some time to put a TBR together for that, and I will come back and share it with you. Okay, so I've taken a look at my romance books and I have picked out 3 that I think I want to read for this vlog. One of them is an audiobook that I know is going to come up on my Libby here pretty quick, so that would be helpful to have an audiobook. And then I'm pretty sure both of these other ones have audiobooks as well. So let's go ahead and chat. The first one is going to be Mixed Signals by B.K. Borison. I've been trying to read this series. This is part of the Love Light Farms series. I have this one and then the fall-based one left. So this is going to be the first one for this vlog. The audiobook that I know is going to come due is a brand new release, and that is A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping by Sangu Mandana. This book was pushed back so many times, and it finally came out in, I think at the middle of July or something like that. So I have a physical copy. I really liked her other book, which was The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. That one was a 5-star. So I'm really looking forward to this one, and hopefully I will love it. But I do have the audio book coming from Libby. And then the third book, I think I own the audiobook through Audible, but I'll have to double check. And that is going to be Deep End by Ali Hazelwood, because this was her new 2025 release and I have not read it yet. So I think that will be my TBR for this vlog. And then if I happen to fly through these and can fit a 4th book on, I'll let you know, as the week goes, but most likely this is probably going to be it, since I am back to work and am not sure how much time I will really have for reading. So I think this is going to be a fun TBR and I'm looking forward to it. So I will let you know which one I'm going to start with and things like that once I get started reading. So it has now been over 2 months since I filmed the clip that you just watched, where I spun the wheel and initially picked a TBR. So we're into October, which means I'm gonna change the TBR slightly in order to meet some current reading goals. So I am going to be reading Mixed Signals by B.K. Borison. I have actually started this already. I actually started this a couple of months ago and then had to set it to the side because I didn't have time to finish it. I now have the audiobook back from my library and I'm a little over 100 pages into it. So this will be the first book that I read and review in this vlog. I am also going to be reading Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. This is on my October TBR. And then the third one is going to be a seasonal read. I am finally going to read The Pumpkin Spice Cafe by Lori Gilmore. I have that one on my Kindle. So those are going to be the 3 books you see in this vlog. I am looking forward to this one. I've heard mixed things, but I tend to like Ali Hazelwood's books, so we'll see how this one goes. I just know that it wasn't what a lot of people expected it to be, so I know that going in, which I think will help a little bit. This one is the 3rd in the Love Light Farms series, and I am trying to read the entire series this year. This is actually the summer one, but it definitely has still a few fallish vibes as well, so it's good, especially because it's still in the 80s here. So It may be the season of fall, but it doesn't feel like fall here. So a summer-ish book works fine. And then the Pumpkin Spice Cafe obviously is one that made the rounds a couple years ago and people were raving about, but now I've started to hear not as good things. The rating on Goodreads is actually pretty low. So I will see what I think. I do have a couple other books in that series, so hopefully I will like this one and will also subsequently read those other two. I have a Christmas one that I'm planning on reading in like a festive vlog, so let's just hope that the Pumpkin Spice Cafe isn't terrible. So anyway, that's what you're gonna see in this vlog. I am going to give you a review on this one once I am halfway through, which should be today. I'm getting ready to head to work actually, so I will be listening to this today and give you some thoughts when I get home on this one. But yes, that's gonna be the updated TBR for this 1 week, one genre romance vlog. And now I need to head to work, so I will see you when I have a reading update. Good morning all. I am almost finished with Mixed Signals. I am 82% of the way through according to the audiobook. So I'm almost to chapter 23, which is another Caleb point of view. This one actually has a preview of the 4th book at the end of this. So the last chapter is actually on page 303, but then there's a bonus chapter it says, so altogether we have 312. This is like a preview for Business Casual, which is the 4th book in this series, so I really only have this much left. I am almost finished. It will be done today, and then I plan on starting the next book for this vlog. So let's chat about this one. I have given both Love Light Farms and In the Weeds 4 stars. I quite enjoyed those. This one, I don't have the same feelings about. I, first of all, don't buy the chemistry between the two of them. This one has more steam than the previous two. We've had like 2 decently explicit sex scenes and I found them kind of cringe, I'm not gonna lie. And I just don't buy the setup for this book. So let me back up a little bit. We are following Layla. Layla runs the bakery at Love Light Farms. She is the female point of view. She has had terrible luck with a string of really bad dates. And on a night where she has once again had another bad date, she runs into Caleb Alvarez, who was the town deputy, but was too nice for the job, so has since left the sheriff's office and is now working at a high school as a Spanish teacher or something. So Caleb is at this same bar celebrating his brother's birthday when he sees Layla kind of get ditched by her date, and he drives her home and they strike up a deal where Caleb wants to rekindle Layla's faith in men by dating her with no strings attached for a month. And then the flip side of this is that Caleb has trouble getting dates because he comes on too strong or something and women don't want him. In no world would people not want Caleb, okay? He is like the definition of a golden retriever male main character. He is sweet, he is funny, he is thoughtful. There's no way that he would not have found someone. So that pretense doesn't work for me either. Anyway, they decide to do this month-long dating experiment, and it's pretty clear from the get-go that there are already some feelings being attached to this. Layla is being really dumb about things, and I don't love that as like a plot device. We are, I'm sure, heading into the 3rd act breakup, which also is probably going to irritate me. I don't love that trope anyway, and I wish romance books wouldn't always do that. I feel like you could come up with other ways to put some conflict in there without breaking up this couple that you've been rooting for like the entire book. And ultimately, I just don't think that these characters are as interesting as the couples that we met in Love Light Farms and In the Weeds. So I'm just not loving this one as much at all. So that makes me really sad because again, those two were 4 stars, so This one's gonna be less than that because even though I'm getting through it quickly, I'm not necessarily enjoying the journey. So I'm reading it more for the sense of completion than anything else right now. I just really feel like something is lacking in the writing of this one. So that's kind of my initial thought. Obviously, I am almost done. So once I have finished the book, I will give you some full thoughts and a final rating, but I really think she dropped the ball on this one. When you compare this to the first two, there's just something missing here for me. So that's kind of my initial thoughts, kind of a downer way to start this vlog off, but this will be done by the time I come home from work. Once I finish this, I am going to start listening to Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. That one I have from Audible. So I will start listening to that one probably today at work because this one's not gonna take me very much longer to get through. I think Libby says I have like a little under 2 hours left, and I don't actually have that much because this one is calculating like the total amount of hours, not the speed that you're listening to, and I'm listening at 1.8, which I've mentioned before in vlogs is kind of my sweet spot. So anyway, gonna finish this off. I will share full thoughts then. I definitely just am a little disappointed with this one comparing it to the first two. It does not hold up or stack up in my opinion. So there you go. Let me stop talking because it's time for me to head to work. I will see you once I'm home with that final reading update on Mixed Signals. Hello all, it's been a couple days since I last did an update, but I have finished Mixed Signals by B.K. Borison. And as I have already said, I did not really enjoy my time with this one. I've already talked about a couple of the reasons why, but there's a couple other things that kind of irked me as well. So the first one is that the third act breakup scene is absolutely unnecessary. It was clearly done because the author just felt like she needed some kind of conflict. I don't think that there were third act breakup scenes in either of the first two books. So to throw one in here, I just felt was really unnecessary. And the reason for the breakup was also dumb. So it's miscommunication to a point, but also all of a sudden, Layla decides that she does not deserve to be with Caleb, that he's too good of a guy for her, etc. However, at no point did we get like any kind of explanation as to why she might feel that way, aside from like a throwaway comment that her parents are disappointed in her because she opened this bake shop up instead of joining the military. So it's like a one sentence little throwaway comment, and then there's nothing else to like justify Layla feeling like she doesn't deserve to be with a good guy. So it was very odd. I just didn't feel like it was needed, and it really disrupted the story in my opinion. Also, I got really, really tired of the only descriptions used for how each other smelled being baked goods. I get it, she's a baker. There is a lot of discussion of baked goods in this book, but I literally felt like it was like every other page that I was reading about how the other person smelled like a baked good. And that got old really fast, so didn't love that. And I just didn't love this. So I'm giving this 2 stars. It was definitely a disappointment. I don't know how this one has a higher rating than the previous 2 in the series because I just didn't buy really any of this. So, not a good time. Not a good time with this one, and I definitely found it super disappointing. So not a great way to start the vlog off, as I've already mentioned. I was really hoping this one would be a winner. I do have hope that Business Casual will be a little bit better. We did get a little bit of that in here because Charlie is a friend of Caleb's, so he kind of shows up kind of sprinkled throughout the book, and it is clear that he already has like a bit of a thing for Nova, who is Beckett's sister, and Charlie and Nova are the 2 leads of Business Casual, so I will hope that their romance is better than this because I didn't like pretty much any aspect of this. It was, yeah, it was definitely a bummer. But yes, the other thing I thought was adorable was getting more looks at Beckett and Evie, who are the romance from the second book, and Beckett's inability to not save little fluffy animals was also kind of featured in here, and I am happy to read Beckett and little fluffy animals as much as she wants to include in the book. So there you go. That's that. So I have also started reading Deep End by Allie Hazelwood. I am listening to this one on audio. I am currently on chapter 24, and that is page 145. So I've read this much. I have this much left. This one is a college romance between a diver and a swimmer on the Stanford swimming and diving team. And it's dealing with a little bit of kink, and apparently is like the kinkiest book she's written. I have not read Not in Love, which I know was also really heavily sex scene filled. So we'll see if this one is the same. I am assuming it is going to be. We are following Scarlett. Scarlett is a perfectionist, and she has kind of set all these goals for herself. However, she gets injured in her sophomore year, I think, diving. So she is working through like a mental block with one type of dive, and she overhears a conversation between Penelope, who is the captain of the diving team, and her boyfriend Lucas, who is the captain of the swimming team. And she gets pulled in to this conversation about how Lucas wants like kinkier things, BDSM type things in bed, and Penelope is not willing to do that. So they decide to break up, and Penelope, in a drunken state, reveals to Lucas that Scarlett also likes BDSM activities. So Lucas and Scarlett are right now working out what they're going to do when they get together, because they have decided that they're going to have sex and things like that together. Penelope, however, has not revealed to anyone that her and Lucas are actually broken up. So I feel like that's going to be a conflict later in this book. But yeah, we're still on setup. Like, they just literally had their first kiss, like, in chapter 23. So little bit of a slower moving pace to get started, but there is a lot to like detail in here, especially with Scarlett's like personal issues that she's going through. So I'm curious to see where this one's going. I'm liking it so far, but yeah, we'll see if that continues. And once I get probably another 100 pages read, I'll go ahead and give you another update, but I will be listening to this at work, so hopefully I can get a little bit more of a dent made in it. So yes, there you go. That's my reading update. One book done, one book in process, and I still have a third that I would really like to read for this vlog, but it is already Friday, so we're gonna have to see if I can manage to squeeze that in. So without further ado, I'm going to head to work because it is Friday and I do have one more day of work, and I will check in with you with a reading update when I have one to share. Hello all, reading update time for Deep End. I am a little over 100 pages from the end. I am on page 309, so I have read this much. I have this much left. I am on chapter 47. And I'm still liking the book, but the sex scenes are just cringy, and I don't think, maybe I'm just not in my steamy romance era or something, because this has been a complaint that I've had like the last few times that I've read a book with steam. I've just felt like the sex scenes were a bit much. And maybe that's also because I'm listening on audio. Maybe it wouldn't be as cringy if I was reading it physically. I don't know, but definitely a little cringy with the sex scenes. And even though this is touted as having like BDSM elements, it's really more of like a power dynamic play than anything else. So Lucas wants to tell his partner what to do, and Scarlett wants to be told what to do. So that's kind of like the BDSM elements. So I wouldn't even say that it's like super heavy on the kink, which I have read a few comments saying like, where's the kink? So I would agree with that. I also am not loving Penelope, who is Lucas's ex and is currently basically Scarlett's best friend. She definitely inserts herself into their relationship a lot, and I feel like that's going to kind of maybe be part of the issue between Scarlett and Lucas with the like third act breakup scene, if you will, because I believe there is one in this book. And as I've already mentioned with mixed signals, I don't love that. So we'll see how that all plays out. But what I am enjoying about this is the look at elite athletics and college and seeing Scarlett navigate her different facets of her life. So she is seeing a sports psychologist to try to get over her mental block with inward dives, and that is very well written, I think, at least. And I'm also liking the academic look at things. Scarlett is definitely kind of like a Mary Sue-ish character because she's just good at everything. And the one thing that she is struggling with is that mental block with the inward dives. So it's nice that she has something that she's not great at, but before she had this injury and the resulting mental block, she was also a phenomenal diver. So she's one of those people that's just really good at everything. And I think that that tends to be how Ali Hazelwood writes her female characters. Lucas, I'm not completely sold on. I don't necessarily love him. And I've seen some people say that Ali Hazelwood's male main characters are kind of interchangeable. I do not find that to be the case. And I definitely don't think that Lucas is like interchangeable with like any of the others. The one thing I am loving is that we get to see Adam and Olive in this book. So they were the couple from The Love Hypothesis, which is my favorite Ali Hazelwood book. So it's very nice to see them again on the page. But overall, this is going well. I am not sure what the rating's going to end up being, but at least right now I am having a good time with it. I will finish this today, so once it is done, I will give you like final rating and full thoughts and things like that. But basically my feelings kind of are the same as it was when I checked in previously. I'm liking it, but again, the sex scenes, they're just not for me, so do with that what you will. But yes, this will get done today and I will give you full thoughts then. So this is going to be the last book for this vlog. I am not going to have time to read The Pumpkin Spice Cafe because today is already Sunday and I need to start my next vlog tomorrow on Monday. So this is gonna be it. Hopefully it will end on a high note because as we know, Mixed Signals did not. So hopefully I can have one winner out of the 2 books for this vlog. But yes, that's kind of my little update. I have some things that I need to take care of today, so I probably won't get back to reading this until later on, but it will get done today, and you will, of course, hear my final thoughts once it's finished. All right, y'all, I have finished Deep End by Ali Hazelwood, and I actually enjoyed this. I'm going to give it 4 stars. There were parts of this that I did not like. Kind of have talked about that a little bit already. I also really dislike the character of Penelope. I feel like she takes up a lot in this book and didn't like how things were resolved at the end when it comes to her and some of the things that she does. So that's all I'll mention to avoid spoilers. But she was not my favorite. But I did really enjoy the look at like NCAA athletics, elite athletics. I liked that she focused on sports that don't get a lot of coverage outside of an Olympic cycle with swimming and diving. And I liked the look at kind of the academic landscape of Stanford, which is a very competitive academic school. And then also just the look at kind of the sciencey things, kind of bringing in what she's done previously in like her STEMinist, if you will, books. So while it's not a STEMinist novel, our characters, both of the main characters, Scarlett and Lucas, are in the STEM field because they are both wanting to go to med school. So they are both heavy into the sciences. So I did really enjoy this. I loved the cameo from Adam and Olive, of course, from The Love Hypothesis. And overall, I liked this. So did I think that this was really all that kinky? No. But that could just be because I grew up reading a lot of fan fiction, and that could definitely get kinky. So I guess I'm kind of skewed a little bit. I guess for some, maybe this would be kinkier than I found it, but honestly, I find it to be very light. on the kink scale, if you will, and very light on like BDSM in general. There's a lot more discussion of stuff than there is actual like BDSM elements, in my opinion. So I did find the sex scenes cringy. I've already talked about that. I think part of that was the audio book, but I liked the story and what she was trying to do with the story. So 4 stars. I liked this one. So that means in this vlog, I had a book that was not a winner and a book that was a winner. So I can't complain too much. I do wish that I would have been able to fit that 3rd book in, but it just was not going to happen with everything else that I had going on. So we're going to have to just end this vlog with 2 romance books read this week. I did get some bookish mail, so I'll go ahead and chat about that briefly. I picked up another Novel Companion Ultra from Little Inklings Design. She is a Canadian small business, and this is an undated planner that has monthly spreads, but not daily spreads. So I'm gonna open it up. It's very loud, and then I'll kind of show you like one of the months. Okay, so you have like your calendar spread here, and then you just have like some general pages. So look, like this, important, habit tracker, goals, and then your TBR goes here. There's a place for you to put new releases, and then at the end of the month, there is a wrap-up page as well. All of the months also have this like dot grid. There's some stuff at the front, some like lists that you can make. There's a place to track different challenges that she's created. There's a couple of like coloring pages. I used this year and then completely fell out of the habit with it when I got my kittens. So I have not touched the one that I started for 2025 since probably the end of June, which is when I started prepping for the kittens, and then I got them in July. And of course, things kind of went off the rails a little bit with filming and reading at that point. So I have not actually completed a full one of these, but I did pick this up. That being said, I did see a planner that I like, and I'm going to try it next year, but I know that I liked this, so I wanted to have another one of these kind of in my back pocket, and I'm going to give the planner a go. The reason that I went ahead and picked this up now is because Canada is one of the countries that is really affected by the tariffs that are in place. So I wanted to go ahead and get it when I knew that I would be able to. They don't plan on not shipping to the US, but it is going to impact like the cost of things if the tariffs do increase, like he is threatening to do. So I picked it up now so that it's here when and if I want to use it. It's not the cheapest thing in the world, but I really liked the one that I was using, so I went ahead and picked up a second one. And then I also picked up like the snap-in bookmark that goes in it just to like mark my place. So that was my little book mail from Little Inklings Design. And she does a planner, but I decided not to go with that one this year, mostly because I didn't love either of the cover designs, and there's a lot in that planner that I am not going to use, and I already know that because I've had the planner before and didn't use it then. So anyway, she also sent like a little thank you card that looked like this. So very nice, fun book mail. And now I'm gonna go ahead and sign off this vlog. So 2 books completed. My romance reading experiment, if you will, is complete. The next vlog you see from me is going to be another 1 week, 1 genre challenge. I am not filming this week any kind of vlog, but I will be filming it next week. So you can stay tuned for that. That will be the next vlog you see from me. And hopefully I can get more reading done than just 2 books, but we'll see what life has in store for me. So that being said, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to my channel if you would like to see more from me. If you made it to the end of this video and would like to leave an emoji to show you were here, you can leave a heart emoji of your choice in honor of the romance genre, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, everyone.